warm welcome to Newsnight. I am Lanre Lasisi, and thanks for joining us on the program. Now, sports offers numerous benefits for countries, including employment, economic growth, and international recognition. Additionally, sports can help drive positive change and development. However, many Nigerians feel that this sector has yet to reach its full potential in the country. You wonder why Nigeria is not doing better in sports. How can we put in place a system that identifies talents early and grooms them? Or how can our sports sector make an impact on the country's economy? Well, we had a discussion with the chairman of the National Sports Commission, and he had some interesting positions on these and other issues. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure always.
The pleasure is ours. I think I want to start very straight from your appointment. It's been a few months now. How has it been since you came on board?
Well, it was something that we have been in. We have been around for over 2 decades around the system, so at least we know clearly whatever it entails to be in the system. So it's a bit easier, it's a bit seamless, and most importantly, we already knew what we are coming here to do. We have the vision, we have the blueprint, we have the roadmap, so it's just about getting the right opportunity, which Mr. President has graciously given us the privilege and the honor to say, go and activate this vision, go and activate these objectives. This is my vision as well. Go wrong with it. So it has been brilliant and quite exciting, you know. And we are quite happy with the response of the entire stakeholders. Almost 99.99% of the stakeholders are aligned, are happy that we are here and are ready to do whatever they need to do to support us, to get things done the right way. So it's quite, people say they have never seen something like this before, where an appointment comes and everybody is behind it, everybody is supporting it, everybody is saying it's the right way to go, everybody is saying yes, we support it. Everybody, even those that are on the other side with us before, have come back to the right side and said, look, this is the time to get our sport going. So we can't thank Mr. President enough for this opportunity, and yes, everybody has welcomed it, but to us it's a huge debt on our head. Yes. Because now we have to pay that debt, and the only way to pay that debt is to make sure we do the right things and make sure we deliver at the end of the day, or over-deliver if we can. So.
I think a lot of Nigerians will be with you on that page. I would like to understand, yours came with an interesting twist. The ministry was moved out of the way, and it was like you now took on that burden. So how has that also been? Because there's a winding down, there's a taking on more responsibilities.
Yeah, of course, it's a huge responsibility to do that. We have to now wind down the ministry. We have to now realign the ministry to the focus on what is being done. Yes. But as I tell you earlier, right from the one, we know this is what needs to be done. Everybody in the sports industry agrees that the sports commission is the way to go. So basically, we already know this is what needs to be done. This is what to be done, and that's why we went around huge advocacy, trying to educate the people. This is the reason why this is being done. This is why it is happening. This is why we are here, and this is what needs to be done. And everybody is happy about it. Even the publics, the civil servants that were here with us before, now working with us, they are basically turned now to public servants. They are more like private sector aligned, because they too have all aligned. And they are highly competent people and highly experienced people. So everybody is on board to what is happening. And yes, the chairman basically replaces the minister and take the roles and responsibilities of the minister. I have my director general, the secretary of the commission as well, who also take the roles and responsibilities of the permanent secretary. And then everybody is there. So it's quite exciting, but the main difference of what has been done that most people don't get to know is the fact that when you have a ministry, anybody can be posted to come to be a minister, whether you are in the sports sector, whether you are part of it, You just a political posting. And yes, at times they get it right, at times they get it wrong. But most times they get it wrong because the people are distracted with the politics, they are distracted with the other things because they are from the political sector. They can't let their own constituency down as well. So that will affect the way the sports is run. Likewise, any other person can be posted here as a permanent secretary when it's a ministry, whether with sports or not. Even today, you can see so many permanent secretaries in the service today are from here. You pass through sports. But now, the way it has been restructured and changed is the fact that at least for you to be chairman is somebody who is in the system, who understands the structure, who is part of the sports administration and family. So it's easier to run with that. Okay. And likewise, for you to be the DG, secretary of the commission, is also the same thing, somebody with the experience in the sports sector and everything who counts to run the federation. So it makes it easier. So basically, the aim is to professionalize the running of sports, bring only expert professionals who understand, because sports is a very tricky terrain. So it's quite a deliberate policy. Mr. President is like that. He is very bold in his decisions and what he wants to do. If he believes in something and he believes the decision today is right for the system, it doesn't matter what anybody says today. He will get it done and he will stood by it because he believes at the end of the day the result will emanate and people will see the final outcome, and history will be very, very kind to his decisions. So the same thing when he made the decision that this is the way to go, he just went ahead and did it. So and now everybody is saying yes,
this is the way to go.
It is the way to go. So let's support it to get to work.
You said something that I think it reflects what's going on. The announcement actually came as a shock to a lot of people. Yes, cabinet reshuffle was in the works, but not a closing down.
Yeah.
And then but you made it. Your choice made it easier. A lot of people understood you had been somebody that had a rich history in the Nigerian sports scene. And so it was a little bit more like, okay, let's see what this can bring. But with that rich background, if I was to ask you now, a question I know a lot of Nigerians have always wondered, why is this Nigerian sports scene not doing better than it is now? From your rich background, you've been in grassroots at the top. What do you feel?
Yeah, because a long time ago, the structure has always been wrong. We left, it's like, I will take you, it's like the issue of this fuel subsidy, for example. If it has been dealt with a long time ago, things wouldn't have been the way people are taking it today. But it's something that has to be done. It's either you do it today or it kills everybody at the end of the day. So the same thing with sports. We failed to do, for a very long time, we failed to do what is right. We failed to take it the way it should be taken. We are just taking it as just a sport. Nobody is seeing beyond the sport. And I can tell you, I'm one of those people that was working behind the scene, pushing all kind of solutions, trying to push, bring all kind of policies, trying to push the government to say, look, let's forget this, taking sport this way. Let's take it this way. Everybody's doing it all over the world. We can see what's happening with their sports. It's not rocket science. But why ours is different? Because we just want to play it. Let's take the issue of maybe even, let's say, football. Everybody will tell you, in the 80s, our football is this, we have the fans in the stadium, everybody was doing. But at that time, when with all that massive following, with all the attachments, what structures were put in place to sustain it? None. The biggest clubs that we can all remember, like stationery stores, like ICC, Ranchers Bees, Leventis United, Bendel Insurance. They are quite an institution, but only in name. They only existed on paper. They have no structure behind them to now make them sustainable, to now make them the institutions that they should be. That will be creating jobs, locking down the funds, monetizing the kind of support that they have. They're just on paper. So the day let Abiola will come and say, I'm tired. I'm not doing Abiola best. Everything goes with it. The day Leventis United will come and say, we're not doing it. This is it. So if at that time they put structure like, for example, build their stadiums, build their own infrastructure, build their institution the way it should be, lock down the funds, the fan base, and monetize them. That's what we see in Europe, for example. They will tell you a club has been around for 100 and something years, this is their stadium. They lock down the entire locality lives and survive around the club activities. So it's something with the sport. So we failed to do all those things before. We just want to play the sport, everybody go home. Nobody is as just CSR, I would say, or as just social, whatever. Nobody is seeing the business part of it. So that's what brought us to here. And that is why now we are telling people, let's be patient. We are like going back to the basics, put the foundation, put the necessary structures, put the necessary framework and policy, legislation and stuff like that. That will now make the sports now be what it's supposed to be, and put the foundation that will be better. So that if we do our part and we finish this our own part, those that will come after us will just find everything easy, and they keep building on what we have put on the side. And then our sports now will be comparable to whatever is happening across the world.
How long are you envisaging that this laying the foundation and reform? How long are you giving yourself for that?
We have a clear plan.
Okay.
Which is on paper, which I've said to everybody. We have unveiled what we call the Renewed Hope Initiative for Nigeria's sports economy. Because Mr. President asked us that go and make sure you make the sports part of the economy in this country. Let's explore all the benefit and the possibilities to make the sports a key driver of the economy. So, based on that, we said, okay, we have what we call RINES, Renewed Hope Initiative for Nigeria's sports economy. And coming down of that, we said, okay, this policy will first and foremost try to change our sport from competition-based, which is what we have been doing for decades, which we see competitions as basically consumption, because we are only spending money, you are not getting anything back. You are only going abroad to play tournaments. You win some, you lose some, but most times you lose. So nothing is happening in the ecosystem. To a developmental, value-adding industry. So we keep developing our sports locally and get everybody involved, create the value chains, create the businesses around it, make it a huge industry that employ people, that create jobs and create wealth distribution across the country, as we see all over the world is happening. So that's the vision, you know. Okay. So that's the reason why the federal ministry was now scrapped, and the National Sports Commission, which is supposed to run as a quasi-private sector body per se, but with all the government paraphernalia, you know, like that, to do that. So we do that, and coming down on that, we said we're going to run on, this policy will run on 3 pillars. The first one, we said we have to reset our thinking. You know, we said reset, refocus, and relaunch. The first one, we have to reset our thinking. What is the thinking we want to reset? Everybody in Nigeria believes in competition. Everybody wants to think about the World Cup, about the Olympics, about everything. Nobody is thinking about what is happening in the domestic. They see you as a successful sport administrator if you are taking teams to go and win. What do you need to do? You just pay logistics. That's basically your job. If you are hardworking, you pay their allowance, pay everything, they go and play. But what is the industry is happening locally? So let's say reset our thinking from being so competition aligned and so attached to it to a domestic development aligned to do that. So we have taken a lot of telling people that this is what we need to do. There are policies and strategies that were created to change that structure to do that. We said the focus. The focus means we have to be deliberate and intentional about what we are doing. Whatever we say we do, we have to focus on it and get it done the right way. We have to create the necessary framework, legislation, executive orders, anything that needed to be done to do it. Attract the necessary funding from both the government, the public sector, and also the private sector, as we see all over the world, to get it done. Then we have to relaunch it, because people have seen sports because of what happened before and everything. At times, the crises, the issues, people don't see it as what it should be.
Viable.
It's viable, but don't see it the way it should be, because they see the people involved as people that are not serious, they don't even know what they are doing. So we have to relaunch it to make it more positive driven, so that people can now believe that this is a huge sector that is really key part of the economy, key part of the whole structure of socio-economic development of the country, and also is something that people should participate, should support with their, not just with their hearts, but with their hearts and minds and pockets. So you should be able to also support and put your money into it by, if you are not an investor, you at least should be able to buy the replicas, they buy tickets to watch games, all that money, jerseys and stuff like that coming there. So this is going to happen to do that. And coming after this again, so what are we doing as a government? the first thing Mr. President did, now we have agreed that sports should be taken as a national asset. So sport is our national asset. What does that mean? It means it's entitled to all the special privileges, concessions, support, financing, legal framework, whatever that is needed, incentives to investors that are putting money into the system to ensure that whatever it is that is needed to be done is being done to drive its growth and development. So that is already settled. Second option, that before you start inviting the private sector to be part of what you are doing and try to push them, you also have to show your own hand in the game. As a government, you see, for this year, 2025, sports have an unprecedented budget. Proposals mainly targeted as a specific capital projects that is needed to unveil and to enable the sports economy that is that they were targeting to do that. In the 69 years of government putting funding in the sport, this is the best budget. Everybody agreed to that. You can see even the National Assembly, everybody is talking about it. Everybody is praising Mr. President. So government have shown their skin into the game. So at least these two things now have bring back the confidence, bring back the belief in the system. So let's see how we can run with it.
Okay, but
and so,
sorry, maybe I'll let you land complete. I wanted, the question I was asking is this plan you have now, what timeline are you
That's
thinking?
basically where I'm heading to now.
Okay.
So because after all this done, so what are we supposed to do? We as the people that are allowed to, who are now given the privilege and the honor to drive the process. First and foremost, we now say we have to restructure the institution.
Yes.
That is start with the National Sports Commission itself. We have to make it more professionals, bring the right expertise. Well, that's why we have the commission. Before, when it's a ministry, you can't just employ anybody. It has to be through the civil service structure. You can't just bring a director. It has to be director in the civil service. But now with the sports commission, you can, if I believe Larry Lasisi is very good, can add value to me, I can come and hire you, negotiate your fee, negotiate your salaries and incentives to come and add value to the sport. Because it's a professional body. The same way professional private people will go and get the talent to come. So we can bring any other talent we need to bring to make sure that we have a professional structure. We are also working on the Enabling Act. We can discuss that later to make it much, much better, so that we provide the enablers to drive the growth. That's the first thing we are doing. Secondly, since government have shown their hand, we now have to work with the private sector as well. So we have to, the second thing, like what we are doing, we are engaging all the private sector across, make sure that they believe in the system and invest across the board. And part of the legislation is to bring the incentives and the benefit that if you invest in sport, this is what comes to you, this is what you can get from. That's how they do it all over the world. Thirdly, we have to now restructure the sports federations. So the sports federations are like the operating officers. They're the ones actually dealing with the actual sports. So we have to work with them also to make them more efficient, to make them more fit for purpose, to be able to deliver.
So they have reforms coming.
Yeah, of course, we are working with them already. We are already inviting all of them to a meeting and they're all happy. We are telling them to go, they have to bring in the chief operating officers, who will be the marketing officers. We are creating a code of governance for them and everything to make sure that they are aligned to this vision and they are run as more professionally better. And they are also part of the entire programs we are trying to run. Thirdly, we have to be more focused on the grassroots sports, because the foundation of sports development. So we have the grassroots sports we worked on, and that will be anchored on the school sports. So, sure, if you have followed what we have been doing over the period, we have been very deliberate about engaging to see how we can bring back the school sports, from the Luga to the principal's corps to whatever we need to do. We are engaging seriously with the Federal Ministry of Education and stuff like that to get that done, because it's the bedrock of sports development. And Mr. President, as usual, have also shown his hand here by appointing a senior special assistant dedicated to grassroots sport development, who work with us here as well. So these are the 3-4 focal points we are dealing with. Okay. So at the end of the day, what's the final outcome we are looking at after, if we put all this together? First we said, okay, at the end of the day, within the next 2-3 years, we should be counting sports making a huge economic contribution. At least sports should be like 3% of the GDP. So we'll be engaging the MBS to make sure that they now start measuring sports as part of the industries and economic drivers that are contributing to the. So we see what we are doing. And even at it is today, we are doing a lot. Just that it's not being measured the way it should be measured.
It's not being captured
properly, yeah. Because if you go, even if you go to like the polo field, go to like the golf, how many people are being employed around that structure? how many business is happening there. So what are sports jobs that are being done? We have to see that over time, within these 3-4 years, at least we can capture at least 3 million people that are being employed within the sports cycle, both direct, indirect, and induced employment. So we can those captured it. At least that will be a huge contribution to the economy.
Let me take you back to the budget.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting one. You got such a large allocation, and that's just the budget proposal. You're still going to go to the National Assembly. So I'm just wondering, everybody goes there and asks for more. Are you going to ask for more?
Yeah, of course. Right from the beginning, we ask for more. But it has to be, government have to allocate the resources based on the availability of the revenue. But right from the beginning, we asked for more. Our proposal for this year for the capital was like 170 billion. Okay. But at least we have gotten close to 100, which is a huge leap from where we are coming from, which is less than 20. Yeah. To do that. And then those are targeted to specific projects that will add value to the economy. We're not just spending capital to do things that are not there. For example, Nigeria have only one stadium that is now hosting international competition, the Uyo Stadium, Goodson Apabio Stadium. If today, for whatever reason, Apabio Stadium is not working, Nigeria have to go and play our international matches in another country. That would be the highest humiliation for this country of 200 million people. So we will have to fix this stadium, Abuja Stadium, to make it fit for purpose. Lagos Stadium, we are working to concession it. No, we're not just trying to fix the stadium just to fix it. No, if you fix it, how do you sustain it? Yeah. So we are trying to turn it into a sports city also in the long term, to bring the investors to come and build the hotels, build the shopping malls, the conference center, the cinemas, the shopping malls and everything, to make it a sports city, even with the housing estate. So our revenues can be coming in, that we keep maintaining, activities will be 24/7 here. That is being done. We are trying to finish, there is a 3-star hotel being built here. It was abandoned since 2009. It's supposed to be like the athletes hostel, where we don't need to spend money in the hotels. It's 200 room, like 3-star hotel. So President said we should finish it. We're trying to complete it. If you complete it, it saves us money. And we are also going to concession it to the private sector to run it as a proper business. So revenues will be coming in, because you can't use it all year round. Yeah. We don't need more than 50 rooms at a time. The other 150 rooms can always be given to the public to do that. We are building the high performance center, which will also ensure that we have a high medical center, high performance center, training center for all our athletes, and also that too will also be commercialized. The public can come and use it and pay a fee for that. We are building the doping lab, anti-doping lab. The whole of Africa have only one lab. So, and every country must do at least 1,500 tests a year, and on an average of $200 per test. But everybody has to now, even now we carry our tests to Qatar to do. So we say, let's build a proper doping center in Nigeria as well. Even if you capture the ECOWAS market, that can give us like $8 to $10 million income every year on the ECOWAS market alone, because you have to do it. Even though they'll get banned. So that creates a lot of value for what we are doing. We are even trying to work with the NTA to repair the OV vans, the outside broadcasting vans for sports, so that we can have at least 6 vans that are working all over the country, one for each zone. So we use that to cover our sports program and then monetize it. That's how they do it. It's media that drives sports development and revenues. So if we have built the capability to produce all sporting activities, which we can bring up now, and even channels can buy some content from us and use it and pay us to do that. So all that is coming into play with the budget. And then there are programs that have not been done before. For example, before they will leave Olympics preparation till 2028, for example, they start collecting money, big money to go to Olympics. Now, every year for this year's budget, there is budget line for Olympic preparations. So we start preparing now for 2028. For Commonwealth Games, budget line is there. For grassroots and talent identification, budget line is there. So all these on the innovations in the budget that have been put now, jumpstart the sports economy.
Now, when we return from this break, we will discuss how insecurity may impact the Commission's plans and their strategies for addressing it. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Thank you so much for being with us. You've painted a very good picture from the 70s, the 80s, where we had local teams and we had a lot of people that passionately followed. I'm speaking about football teams, the Ranchers Bees, the 11Ts, and all of that. Now, trying to do that now, the issue of security props up. Some people don't feel safe going to stadiums. Some people don't feel safe traveling. How does that factor into your plan?
Yeah, you see, what you said is very correct. Sports can only thrive and develop within the context of our own deficiencies and limitations. You can't isolate sports also, because if you look at, for example, in the developed world, you see them building even train stations direct to the stadium, because these people need to travel to watch the games. So this is the kind of things we should have done long time ago, as we were discussing, but we didn't do anything. Nobody was building any infrastructure to make traveling easy, to make things. But we have to work within that context. We have a lot of people within the cities that can be able to go to the games and fill the stadium and stuff like that. But sport is also an avenue to enhance and deepen security, because anywhere they are playing sports, you find that it's a bit safe, as per the area, the venue, and stuff like that. So even last week I was having a meeting with the AIG in charge of sports, of police sports. We are trying to see how we can collaborate with the police also to enhance security across the match venues, across the sports and stuff like that. But I believe sports, even on its own, being played, bring more security, because when I was running the league, one of my greatest excitement and proud moment was when, after like 4 years, there's no football in Maiduguri between 2012 till like 2016 or thereabout. Nobody's playing football in Maiduguri, they are playing in Kazana because of the insurgency. We were able to work then and bring back football to Maiduguri. So myself and then the governor, who is now the Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria then, now, work together, put out the strategies, and make sure we brought back the National League to play in Maiduguri. And the first game that was played, I think, was El Kanemi and Iyimba. The whole stadium was filled up, 20,000 people or more. More people are outside, the whole city was calm. And that singular act was what opened up the whole Maiduguri until today. Everything, at least the Maiduguri is okay. People now, because at that time there was curfew, nobody can 6 o'clock, but once we start playing football, everything opened. And people were coming out to play the game. It shows what sports can be able to do for you. And even the BBC, the Nigerian media didn't take notice of what we did, but the BBC did. They came here and did a special documentary on that. Return of football to Maiduguri, which now shows that the military, the government are at least achieving the right results from the fight against insurgency, and that helps to drive security back to Maiduguri. So if sport is being done properly, the right way, it enhances the general security of the country. Yes, other issues of traveling and stuff like that can only happen as the government is working to put the necessary infrastructure to get the roads working, to get the trains working, to get maybe the airlines ticket could be better. But at least even within the cities, we have enough funds to do that. Even that time when I was doing the league, when we are doing night matches, we started night matches, the Friday night matches. In Enugu, for example, then every time we did the night matches, 40,000 people fill the stadium. And from that Friday night until Monday, Enugu is safe. Everybody is bubbling because football has been played, everybody is happy and stuff like that. Even the governor of Enugu used to call me and say, look, when is the next night match? Because the security people are giving me a report that anytime they do a Friday night match, security situation within the city for that weekend improves and the whole city become a hub of activities. So we will do that, but yes, we have to keep working to see that we create more convenient stadia and facilities for people. In fact, the repair we are doing, because most of the stadia that were built before, they were built like parade grounds. So we now have to make sure we see how we can modernize them over time to make them more fit for purpose for the current times, so that the right people can go to the stadium with their family and enjoy the game. Most of our stadium have no roof. Nobody can want to go to the stadium now with his kids and son will be beating them or rain will come and beat them. No, that's in the past. The stadium should be roofed, there should be lounges, there should be stuff like that. So we get into that. And the more we have that, the more we have the right people coming to the stadium, and the more you see the security will be improving.
Okay, you also spoke about the issue of sports having other benefits. Some also believe that sports helps the youth from issues of drugs and things, and it's the lack of these facilities at the grassroots that may also be a factor that one needs to look at. Is that something that you feel can be addressed?
Yeah, of course. The reason why we are saying we are going to go to be building the mini stadiums, mini sporting facilities across the country.
Okay.
You know, in those days when they are doing the mini stadiums and everything, because it's being done as political projects, they go and put them outside the city, in the bush. So how can you go and put a mini stadium outside the bush? How many kids can be able to afford transport fare to go and play outside and come back home? No, so we said that let's change the concept. Let's go to where we had the population density within the cities and put those mini stadia. Even if it's a school that is within the city, go and turn their ground to a mini sports center that all the people within the locality can just walk in and play and go back. So when you do that, you distract the youth, because the youth need something to distract their energy, to put it positively somewhere. And then when we create the structure we are creating, where the youth can see a pathway, that if I do this well, there's a pathway for me, I can go to greatness, I can be great. And now we are trying to marry education and the sports together, so they can also be pursuing their education through our centers of excellence while getting through their passion with schools. We have scholarships to give them if you are good enough, so you don't need to pay the school fees, do everything like that. So the youth now can be engaged and redirect their energy positively, which also would improve security. Because the youth are normally, when they are bored, they are idle, they are easily convinced to go into the, as you said, the drugs or whatever, even to get into the bad habits of some other crimes.
Okay, but you know, when we talk sports a lot of times, I'm sure for you professionals, you understand that it means all sports. Mm-hmm. But for some of us, it means football, basketball. No. So, and when you start talking about getting it to the grassroots, is that for all sports? Absolutely. Because right now we spoke about mini stadiums.
Yeah, that mini stadium will have other sporting facilities. Okay. Apart from the football pitch, there will be like maybe a multi-purpose hall where other sports can be played. Okay. And there should be a track where other sports can be played. There should be some other basketball courts and some other sports like that. So it's not, we are targeting all sports, to develop all sports in the country. Yes, even though we are grading our sports to see which ones where we have more comparative advantage on, which one we can put more energy on, because likely it speaks to our passion as people, and then also it can our talents available, and also can give us medals at the higher level, so that we can do it that way. But all sports are being targeted. As we speak now, we have our team under 19 girls in Malaysia participating in the under 19 cricket World Cup. Nigeria saw a cricket World Cup, and those girls beat even South Africa to qualify for the World Cup. So it means we have a talent. We have a talent here.
From where, please?
They're all Nigerians.
Oh, they were selected.
They selected the team from Nigeria. You know, so the Cricket Federation is doing very well. So they went to India for a training tour. The 19 girls playing cricket, beat South Africa, beat all the South Africans who are that's their core sports. Yes. Cricket is not our sport here, but now you can see even ladies that's the first time we have a team playing at that level on that competition. So we do that. Okay. Every day we are supporting. A few weeks ago, we were adopting a 14-year-old who has shown talent to be the best gymnast in the world. Even people from UK, from America are calling her to relocate her family there because she can also be good. So we said, no, stay here. We'll take you on. We will also sponsor you maybe to a better country where they have these facilities for this sport, where Nigeria can be having the good this. So all sports, judo, everything were good. Even yesterday I was doing with the martial arts, for example, because martial arts too can be a sports for us that can be very good in this country, because all the people that we are calling Aberos that have the mind and the power, they can easily switch that energy judo to martial arts, and they can build another Israel Adesanya. Yes. They can be another all these top people that we see around the world. I've been speaking to all those big people to do that. They can give them hope. It's not for you to go to the motor park and become a tout. Maybe if you can put your energy and your mindset in the martial arts, you can be able to be great as well.
Part of the interaction in Nigeria has to do with how the levels of government work.
Yeah.
At the federal, at the states, at the local government. And sometimes it appears that interaction does not work. How are you looking at that?
Our job here is basically as regulators of sports across the country. So we have to work with all the states and everybody. Like, for example, on the issue of school sports, we said we'll create like 6 centers of excellence. For each zone of the country, we should have one university or tertiary institution that will become a center of excellence for sports, where we can work with them, bring the facilities, bring the technical know-how. So every child at that student at that level who's good at sport will go to this university to get the right training and stuff like that. We are coming down with that as well, so that we go to the state as well. For each state, we need to have at least one secondary school to be also termed a center of excellence for sport. We as the federal government will do one with our unity schools. That's what we are discussing with the Federal Minister of Education. But we also bring the states to also usually to have their own.
Yeah, there's one per state.
Yeah, considering so we can do one with the unity schools. They can do 3-4 with their school. One for zone in their own state. But instead have 3 zones as well. So they do that. We help them with the infrastructure, bring the corporate body to do CSR, build infrastructure, technical know-how to train the students. The same thing, we work with the subnational, the state, work with the local governments too. We should have primary schools at the local governments that are also termed centers of excellence. So with that, any child between the age of 13 and above, or 8, whatever it is, that's good and good on sports. You can go to those primary schools. From there, they can go to the secondary schools. From there, they can move to the universities, and we are following them. And the moment you are identified through a grassroots program at 8 years, 9 years, we know you, we follow you. You can even get a scholarship. You can even get support from the money we are putting both from the state and us. So we have to work together to get this done.
I would like to it sounds really laudable. Unfortunately, we've had allegations in Nigeria where when it comes to selection, it appears issues of corruption just make it impossible that the talent that should is not. I don't know how you are hoping to address that even within this process and even in our other...
I can tell you from my experience over the years, the decades in sports, this allegation is normally non-factual.
Okay.
Yes, there are a few 1 or 2 instances, like it's normal in life, but it's not factual. It's not like that. Because sports is about talent. You can't pay your way if you are not good enough to go and play. Because it means the team you are playing will lose. The team that you are playing with need the best talent to win. Normally, it's people that couldn't make the team, or they come with these allegations and say this and say that and say that. No, everybody wants to win. So they put the best legs forward. So we can't say, and then remember, Nigeria is 200 million people plus. Yeah. Almost more than half of that are youth within the age of sport. So if you are looking for a team of 23 to play for Nigeria, definitely you will miss some, you will get some. Because the last time they said they did an open camp for under 17 here, football team in the stadium here. So everybody should come. The first day they got almost 20,000 people. So which coach can be able to see 20,000 people within a day and get the best talent? It's just, it's like that. Because why is that happening? Because there is no proper developmental process. If there's a partner, we would have seen the best talent coming up through. That's why we say we are going to reinforce our zonal offices, so that we can, everything will be for the state, local government zone. So right from when you are young, you know your capacity, and we follow you up. But the issue of anybody being, because we are already following a process.
Beautiful.
Not just coming up overnight with your boots and say 20 and say to do what you want to do.
Football.
But it can happen once in a while, but it's not really what it is. If you are good enough in sports, they'll come and pay you and take you. They come and pay your parents and give you money and take you to go away if you are good enough.
Okay, but let me now also, you mentioned earlier the impression of how the sports sector is in Nigeria also has the issue of management, mismanagement, misappropriation. What you're driving now, even from what you've achieved so far, even though with the budgetary allocation the president has graciously given you, which you say you're going to even ask for more. We're hoping, and the prayer is that more investments will come.
Sure.
Managing those resources. How are you hoping to do that?
Well, you see, sport is very passionate. most times those kind of things you hear on the TV or the radio, somebody making all kind of wild allegations, are normally also the same thing, not too factual. It's because sports is passionate. People take the same passion they have for the sports and put it on the administration. So when they fail to get what they want, the best thing they could do, because sport is very sensitive. Every media house must have a sport program every day, several hours, newspaper. So sports is one of the most reported sector. No sector is being reported like sports every day, because every other 50 minutes you must do sports news, TV, radio, newspaper. So this is whatever small negative you put, it goes out here. So people in the sector will now go out and make all kind of wild allegations, all kind of wild stuff, just trying to say, I didn't get what I want, so let the system crash. Or they are fighting over who will lead the federation. The next thing, the other person that lost, it's not for him to take and wait for the next election. They'll go creating all kind of issues. So we are trying to bring all the stakeholders and say, look, because I too have suffered that a lot in my own career. I know how I suffered on that as well. So I have the experience to do that. We are bringing all those people there. I think that naturally when they are aggrieved, they go out there and start doing some, by taking some steps. For example, the revised act we are doing, we want to set up a National Sport Arbitration Board. Okay. So all dispute within sports can be resolved through that alternative mechanism resolution process. Okay. So if that is done, at least there's a platform which will be independent. That board will not be populated by sports people who doesn't even like sports, independent people who only look at the rule book and say who is right, who is wrong, so that at least we can be able to resolve disputes internally. We want to set up what we call the integrity unit within our compliance unit within the system. I've already spoken to some contracts in the EFCC, ICPC to set up an integrity and compliance unit within the sports sector. That now will be in charge of anybody that tries to do things that is not right. We can deal with it internally and investigate it within that compliance unit. If now you are found to be culpable, then it's handed over to the necessary organs of investigation to continue further. Not like before, where everybody woke up and make all sorts of wild allegations. When I arrived on this seat, the first paper I received was some people who were aggrieved with one of the federation, and the next thing I saw a petition saying the federation have stolen 20 billion. For what? What's the budget? The entire budget of sport is not 20 billion. So how do you take 20 billion to steal? But if somebody who doesn't know the sport see that document outside and say, this is what they are doing. During my time, some of the work I've done, I've got a letter from the investigation agency that time when we are at the federation. Yes. Say, look, there is a petition against you people that you have taken $500 million. $500 million is from where? But somebody who doesn't know sports might think it's correct, might think it's right. But somebody just wake up and write that rubbish just to hurt the people. Maybe they lost election, maybe something. And the agency wanted to ask, is there any $500 anywhere? $500 million.
Okay, now you mentioned the preparations that are being made for international competitions and all that. Now, Nigerians, once we have international competitions, our worry is that we hope everything has been done. We're not going to hear another strike over allowance and payments, or even as regards where they stay or their welfare. What's your commitment on that one?
That, I can assure you, will not happen under our watch, because we know how the system works. Myself and my DG and the other staff on the federation, we have the experience. We know what it is. It's to plan early. But in those days, they will leave it. It's not like these monies are not being paid, but they are delayed payments. Because when you leave, you are going to Olympics, for example, in August or July. But you leave it until in May. Then you start writing to the president asking for intervention funds. Before president approve, before the money goes to the ministry, Olympics have started. And the athletes will not wait for you to say they are waiting for government to release the money, because you're not starting early. That's why everything we want to start it early. We want to make it in the plan. Where we can find the budget, we'll find it. If we cannot find the budget, we'll have to explain to the people that this competition, the budget is not available at the moment. This is when it will be available, so that we know clearly what we want to. That's why we're starting preparation for Olympics this year, everything this year. And we're trying to resolve, because sports is about funding. If you resolve the funding issue of sport, everything is like almost 80% done. So that's why in the revised act we are working on, we're trying to create the National Sports development fund. Through that fund, we will attract funding both from the private, public, private individuals, and some other resources. That there should be enough fund in that funding that will be able to fund sport. So issue of these gaps of money, late preparations, everything can be eliminated. So that could happen. When that is done, I'm sure the issue of money, funding, at least to fund the athletes, will be resolved.
Okay.
So that everything can be seamless.
What do you've mentioned that legislation, that proposed legislation. What timeline are you looking at? What stage is it at?
Yeah, it's already stage of engagement with all the stakeholders, and it have a lot of this kind of provisions that will now try to clean up the system and create a platform to resolve all these anticipated issues and make everything seamless. Even in that legislation, for example, they are trying to say that if government appropriate money for sports, that money should be released immediately the budget is passed, so that the funding will be available. Because sports too should be on first line charge. Because sports is timely. It's about time.
Yes.
If you want to play Olympics, you play Olympics. You don't wait. That date will not be changed for you.
Yes.
So you need to get the money timely, and so that's the reason why sport is being said it's a national asset to have special consideration and everything. So I'm sure the president can be able to approve that. That once the budget is passed, whatever is budgeted for sport should be on the first line charge, pay upfront, so that we can run with it.
Okay, so let me ask you this now. What do you see as the future of sports for Nigeria? What do you want to leave as your legacy?
What you want to leave as a legacy is what I've told you earlier. That first and foremost, I need to tell our stakeholders and the entire people that we should be patient. People should not judge us by competitions. People should judge us by the kind of institutional reforms and the kind of changes we bring and the kind of sustainable programs that we bring in the system. And at the end of the day, what I want to be seen is that we have a proper legislative framework that is driving the sports development in the country. Secondly, we should be able to resolve all these problems we have talked about. And then thirdly, we should be counting our sports as one of the number one drivers of the economy. So anytime they are talking about the economy, the sport too should be sitting on that table. Now look, we are part of this percentage of GDP. This is the number of people we are putting on the job. This is the kind of inflow we are bringing, the foreign exchange and everything. That's what I want us to be looking at. That's the kind of values and the kind of legacies we want to leave. And then, of course, we are not saying, and we should have our domestic sports working, all sports. Every weekend we should have the sports economy, sports weekend working. That people are traveling to watch matches, are going to the stadium to watch all kinds of sports. Economic activities is happening all over the place. That's the kind of vision we have, and that's what we are trying to do. And at the end of the day, sports will be one of our serious ecosystem industries that nobody would joke with. And fundamentally, sports is our number one unifier. Yes. So sports break all our fault lines in this country, break all our issues. Once sports is in play, everybody is a Nigerian. Nobody thinks who you are, what you are, or what you do. So we want to now institutionalize that so that we can see what we are doing. And then sport also at the end of the day is about participation in tournament. We should be able to be participating in every tournament with a credible result. Yes, we cannot win all, but at least if you participate and you give your effort, the fans will know, they have tried. But it's not their luck, it's not their time this time around. So Nigerians will be proud. Anywhere we participate, Nigerians will be proud.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Thanks for staying with us on the program. I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts on the discussion. You can get across through any of our social media handles or drop a mail. Let's just keep the conversation flowing. You can also play back this episode or a past episode on channelstv.com/podcast and take your pick. Anyone. Well, till next time, thanks for being here. Take care.